This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
Tom, I'm a little tired.
Me too. Tim, we're recording on a Sunday. Normally, both of us are in church right now.
Yeah.
But
Days, all day, just, what do they call that? Where you hit yourself?
self-flagellation.
Yeah.
Normally, we both got our horsehair shirts on and our cat of nine tails, whipping ourselves into a frenzy.
We should just record that one week and put it out.
It would just
9-hour-long episode.
Tim, maybe it'd be good for Halloween month. It would sound kind of scary, just hearing like, whoosh, and then for 9 hours straight. But Halloween,
what we do to deal with the shame.
Halloween month's over, Tim.
Yeah.
It's November now.
Yeah. Movember, right? You grow a mustache?
I've never done that, but some people have.
Because you don't think you should raise awareness for...
I'd like to keep prostate cancer a secret. That's my thing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think it's great when people do that, but that is one of those things where sometimes you come across somebody who's doing that, and it's like, how do I donate to you? Oh, no, I'm not like collecting money or anything.
I'm just trying to look goofy.
Yeah, and it's like, well, you're not really doing anything. Yeah. You're raising awareness, I guess, but I think you should like have people donate to you or something.
I mean, everybody who participates in Movember, I think, is raising awareness. We're talking about it.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying.
Excellent viral marketing.
We're doing better than some guy just growing a mustache.
Well, people will do their own research and be like, oh, now I'll figure out where to...
Yeah.
Now, we wouldn't be talking about this without the mustaches, Tom.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I'm missing that point, that sometimes people do it in a way that I think is wrong, but then that gets even more awareness out there. Because I'm not talking about all the people doing it, in my opinion, right.
Exactly. And, Tom, I don't do Movember because I would... steal all the attention away. They would just be like, oh, look at this guy's mustache.
Yeah.
We don't even, we're not even getting to the why. We're just like, how?
Yeah.
How does this happen? This
guy's
got a
and they're probably
mustache.
like, nah, there's no way a mustache that looks that good. That guy's doing it as a goof.
Yeah.
The goof's on him, if that's what he thinks.
Yeah, and he doesn't look like a goof.
Yeah. Another, since I'm putting down rules for Movember, also I think you should have to grow the mustache. You shouldn't be allowed to just shave a beard into a mustache.
Yeah, so you got to shave cleanly.
Clean.
Yeah.
On, Halloween.
That's really why I don't do Movember.
Because when you shave your beard, you look like you're 5 years old.
Yeah, you look like a 5-year-old girl.
But no, I think that's part of also what should be embarrassing is that you've got like a straggly mustache for a little bit of time. Tim,
I don't think people should have to be embarrassed.
Look, Tim, I mean, God, next thing you know, you're not going to want to come to church and self-flagellate with me on Sundays. Everything's about guilt and embarrassment, all right? That's the fuel that gets anything done in this world.
We're gonna have to put a donate link in the. We've talked about this long enough that
that now we're the real heroes.
Yeah.
Check the show notes. We'll put a donate link in there.
You'll handle that.
Yeah, it's Tom Reynolds on Venmo. I shouldn't say that. People have sent me money in the past when I've joked about it, and then I have to cancel it, and then I get fees.
Wait, about
sending me money on Venmo
to donate to causes?
No, not to donate. No, don't Venmo me to donate to a cause. We'll put a link to something reputable.
We won't, but you can Google it yourself. We have
we'll
right
put a
now.
Link to Google.
We have every intention of putting this, but look, I don't even know who's editing this episode.
Yeah.
We're not going to remember.
Right. Who can... I mean, what are we going to do? Leave a note to ourselves to do it?
I don't leave notes to myself because it makes me feel like I'm going crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't leave physical notes to myself.
Oh, future Tim, you must heed this word. No.
I mean, you don't have to write it that way.
I'd like to.
I think I'd like to start writing notes to myself that way. leave them in places that I don't check often.
You know this famous Reddit thread, Tom, about the guy that was like, somebody keeps breaking into my house and leaving Post-it notes.
No.
I don't remember the I only remember the gist of it. But, it turns out, he's like,
his
I don't
name
know.
was Paul Pelosi.
No, Tom. All right, we gotta. All right, no. This guy's like I just find these Post-it notes with and there's no way people could be getting in, and it's like it's constant. Turns out carbon monoxide leak. This guy's leaving notes to himself.
Check the carbon monoxide.
Then forgetting.
Yeah.
And Reddit detectives figured this out.
Oh, wow.
And saved this guy's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of Reddit threads like that where people, I can't think of the example, but where people have complained about something and then somebody's like, hey, have you ever been checked for XYZ? I don't want to scare you, and I don't, I'm not a doctor. It might not be this, but that might be something you want to look into.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot. No, I'm thinking of the example.
Is it going to scare me?
No, it's not going to. No.
Okay.
I follow a lot of UFO and alien subreddits.
Yeah.
And sometimes
that's a shock.
And sometimes people will post things and they're like, I'm being followed, and it's like, I think you should see a therapist or a psychiatrist. A lot of what you're talking about are paranoid schizophrenia symptoms. It's not just the following, but a few.
Yeah, there's All right.
Reddit, a good place to get diagnosed for whether it's a carbon
Get rid of your health insurance.
Paranoid schizophrenia to carbon monoxide leaks. Reddit can help you out.
How are you doing this week, Tom?
I'm good. We're recording early because I'm going to Mexico this week.
You're skipping town.
Yeah, by the time this episode comes out, I think I'll be back. But up until that point, I'll be back to press the button to release it.
Nice, and put that link in the
put that link in there.
Show notes.
But yeah, going to Mexico. I haven't been to Mexico in a while. I've never been to Mexico City.
I've never been to Mexico, Tom.
Really?
Yeah, our neighbors to the south.
Well, why don't you come with me?
I'd love to. I wasn't invited until
well,
just now.
I'm going to it's a wedding for a friend of my girlfriend's, but I'm sure.
Can I be your plus one?
I'm sure she would not mind just staying behind, and you can come with me instead.
Nice.
I mean, she should.
I'll
stay
go with
behind.
her.
Your
if
wife,
you want to stay
your
behind.
wife will probably need help with your baby while you're gone.
Yeah.
It all works out.
Great.
But here's my problem that I've been dealing with, Tim, and I was almost thinking about because we were trying to come up with topics, and we'll talk about the actual topic in a moment here. But
it's eggs.
Yeah,
I jumped the gun.
Tim, I said we would talk about it in a few moments. I can't find the name of the guy who left this now. We'll find it during the break.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was thinking about doing cell phone addiction as a topic, but then when I was looking into it, I was like, this isn't the kind of lighthearted fun that eggs would be. Yeah. And it's because it's finally happened to me. Actually, I think it's happened to me a couple of other times. So I'm addicted to a cell phone game, Tim.
Oh, what game? Oh, yeah, I came here the other night. And you
Oh,
opened the door while playing a game and didn't pay attention to me for 5
and
minutes.
I was like, sit and be quiet. Marvel Snap.
Oh, jeez.
It's
Tom, every
what?
time I think you can't get more predictable. You're becoming a cliche of yourself.
Well, that's the thing, Tim. They finally came after me.
It's the Flandersization of Tom.
They finally came after me with these games because it's you ever play Hearthstone?
No.
Hearthstone's a pretty good game. It's a
Sounds
card
boring.
game.
Sounds warm.
Well, but here's the thing. I've played that game, and it's I think it's World of Warcraft, intellectual property in there,
Okay.
and the same company makes it. But it's a card game, and I played it.
WoW. You put a sticker on your car that's it's WoW, right?
Tim, that's for Whip 'Em Out Wednesday. That's not for World of Warcraft.
You're a big Opie and Anthony guy.
Did that ever work, or is that just an urban legend? The idea
they had the
stickers. The idea that you could put a sticker on your car that said, "One day of the week, I encourage women to show me their bare breasts and
in a car on the
in
highway.
a car on the highway, and we're all just supposed to believe that happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're talking about, again, we're raising awareness for Mount Wednesdays here. We're playing into everybody's hands.
Yeah, and I'm playing into...
And yeah, now you're saying the Marvel game.
Yeah, it's so addictive. I do see that, though. Like, sometimes I get ads for, like, mobile games, and they're like, try our game. Our users say it's more addictive than heroin. And it's like, well, I don't want something that's more addictive than heroin. But
I mean, if it makes you feel as good as heroin does and doesn't have
health
maybe
effects,
like the physical health effects.
Yeah, I think still just being that addicted to something.
Yeah,
isn't
it's probably
great.
not a great idea.
But the Hearthstone game, I didn't really get into because I'm not like a big like fantasy guy.
Mm-hmm.
But this, apparently it's like the same guy.
That's not what I understood from reading your diary, Tom.
I told you never to read my diary, Tim. Didn't you see the note that I left on top of it?
Yeah, I know. I did not heed.
Dear future Tim, don't read this.
I thought I wrote that.
But this game, it's all Marvel stuff, and it's like it's a card game. I think it's kind of like No, I think it's kind of like Magic the Gathering. I've never played that, or like Pokemon, like that type of like, all right, you've got a hand.
You collect, you have a certain arsenal of cards.
Yeah, you collect a bunch of cards, but then you make your deck with the cards that you want, and you play it, and Jesus, this thing is so addictive. I have not put a single American penny into this game.
How many British pence did you put in?
I've been in well over 1,000 British pence. No, that's the other thing, that it's actually kind of the bad thing, that like spending money, I see how they're getting people spending money because they make like variants of all the cards that you get. So there's one that's like 8-bit variants, like pixel art.
See, I've never been one. You have like, you buy
variants,
like on video games. You're like, oh, you can pay money and upgrade to a different suit, and it's just like digital assets like that. Never, like, I would only pay to be like, oh, we made this so annoying with so many ads everywhere. If you paid $9 one time, we'll take the ads off. Like that,
well,
I'm susceptible
sounds
to.
like you're going to be walking around the metaverse naked, Tim. You're going to be the laughing stock of the metaverse. I've been saying that for years, one way or another. But they have like the 8-bit, and I can totally see, because I looked at them, I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. And then I was like, well, these things are like $10. And once you get one, you're probably like, I should have all 12 of my cards be this. And then you're spending $120 just so you can like flex to other anonymous users on the internet that
Can you see the pictures of them without buying them?
Yes.
So just look at them and pretend you have them. Take a screenshot.
But if you show them to, whatever 7-year-old you're playing against, and you go, hey, look what I got. I bet your mom wouldn't let you buy all these like I did. But that's what I'm saying, that I'm not into that. So like I haven't spent any money, but I can see it's like, oh, that's how they're going after the whales.
Right. Brendan Fraser.
But otherwise, it's just like playing the game gets you more cards. So I just play the game, 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Very addictive, very fast games. That's how, because you finish a game and you're like, all right, this is the last game. And then it's like, oh, it's over and I won. I keep playing. And there's like a little bit of a betting element in it where like you're betting.
Tom, can I see your phone?
No. No, it's fine. But I deleted it once already.
Well, you better delete it before you go to Mexico with your girlfriend for this wedding. You gotta have your head in the game there.
Yeah, but
you gotta enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Pay attention at the wedding. Don't be sitting in the back where they're like,
no, that's rude. I'll go to the bathroom and lock myself in a stall if I'm gonna play it. But anyway, that's been my week. Deleting a game, being like, no, this is enough. Because I had started watching YouTube videos about how to like play better.
Yeah.
And then like starting to realize like, oh, there's like a lot of strategy in here. And as you get better, you play better people. So you got to get better. So that's tough life. Tough life for a free game. Free game that like drains my new phone dry every day. I have to recharge it. Electricity prices going up. It's all a big scam.
Tough, sad life for you, Tom.
Tim, this week we're talking eggs.
Eggs.
Shout out to Isaiah Chadney on our Patreon.
Had that right on the top of your head, huh?
With the name?
Yeah. You're wearing a hat that says Isaiah Chadney.
I know. And, I couldn't remember his name before, and then I took the hat off. I was like, oh, geez, right on my head. It's like when you lose your glasses or something, and, you've got them on the whole time.
Yeah.
I can't find my pencil, and it's in your hand. That happens to me 10 times a day.
Tom, maybe you should test your house for carbon monoxide.
There was something happened the other day in my building. We had the fire trucks come twice, and both times it smelled like burning plastic, and then they just like left with no resolution. And it's like, but something happened,
right?
And it smells very bad. I would prefer smoke.
Did you ask the hunky beefcake fireman?
No. In fact, the second time it was at night, and we were watching Unsolved Mysteries, and they showed up again, the firemen, and I was looking out the window and thought they couldn't see me, and then the guy locked eyes with me and went, "Can you open up the door down here?" And I was like, I'm not involved.
Did you do it?
Please just save me if there's a fire. Otherwise, I'd like to stay a private citizen. Yeah, I buzzed them.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to.
Yeah.
One time at an old apartment,
they said that I'm honorary fireman now.
Yeah, you're their Dalmatian.
Yeah, they said I can ride on the truck from now on.
I wear a collar.
I have to wear a costume. I had to paint my body white with black spots.
One time at an old apartment, the cops buzzed.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, let us in. We need to get to the roof to observe something. I was like, observe what? They were like, there might be a crime in the area, and this will give us the best vantage point. And I was talking through the buzzer.
Yeah.
And I think I let them in, but why did I do that?
I don't know, because you were like, well, they won't be able to see into our apartment from the roof.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But that's like some real Batman style cop. I need to observe from the rooftops to find crime.
Meanwhile, I asked that cop for directions once, and he just went, "Fuck you."
You should have buzzed back and said, "You want to get to the roof? Use a grappling gun, idiot."
Yeah. Well, hey, check your utility belt, officer.
Can you imagine if Batman buzzed your door and said, "There might be crime going on. Can you let me up to the roof?" Mm-hmm. Anyway, Tim, this week we're talking about eggs. Isaiah Chadney came up with this idea to talk about eggs. So if you don't like it, hey, blame him.
Do you think we can do a higher Patreon tier where we'll put your name on a hat and wear the hat?
During the episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. And here's the thing, Tim. They won't know.
They won't know.
No. We'll get some blank hats. We'll make it into a Photoshop template, and we'll be like, here's us wearing your hat.
Can I say one thing about Reddit?
Sure.
When people do an AMA on Reddit,
mm-hmm.
It's like Hillary Clinton or something holding up a sign that says like, "Oh, I'm doing an AMA on this," and it's just somebody posing with a white sheet of paper that like
that can easily be altered. Yeah,
exactly. It's and like then. Doing that and usually it's like, oh yeah, Hillary Clinton actually did the AMA or spokesman or whatever, and then but now there's that picture of Hillary Clinton out there that you can Photoshop to say whatever you want.
Yeah,
she just gave it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Hillary Clinton, you're probably like, this is the least of my problem.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that proof is so easily you could use that for proof of anything.
Yeah, but I'm sure she's like they've already
not
got
Hillary Clinton specifically.
The deep fakes trained to make me look like I'm doing flips on a trampoline.
Yeah.
No, that
she likes
real.
that. Yeah. She encourages the gymnastics deep fakes.
Yeah, I mean, and then it's
it
like,
puts her in a
well,
good light. You're like, wow,
well,
she's
Hillary,
limber.
where's the line? You know, either you should be all for this or all against it. You're confusing your biggest fans and your biggest nemesis.
Yeah.
Nemesis.
Yeah. All right, eggs.
Eggs.
Back to eggs.
Tim, first question I got on my list on my eggs questionnaire.
Your eggtionnaire.
Yeah, this just popped into my head. I never thought this thought before in my life, but as soon as I knew we were doing an episode about eggs, I was like, I got one of the big questions about eggs. Why don't we eat turkey eggs?
Turkeys don't lay eggs. It's live birth.
That's what I thought at first. I was like, oh, is there something I don't know about turkeys? Do turkeys not lay eggs? No, turkeys lay eggs. I did some digging. I did some research. You know, I did some digging and some research. I wrote it all I wrote it all down, and it's gone now.
Oh, wow. Big turkey egg doesn't want you.
Either that or, yeah, I got to check the carbon monoxide detector.
Do you remember the gist of it?
I remember the gist of it. A few things here that I thought were interesting. Apparently, like, pretty much all eggs taste the same.
Yeah. I mean, I thought we were talking about chicken eggs right off the bat. Here you go.
But I'm saying, why don't we eat turkey eggs?
Right.
Like, you hear about quail eggs sometimes, but other than chicken eggs, you don't hear about, fish eggs, but I'm talking poultry.
Yeah.
Apparently, all bird eggs are edible by humans. We can eat any. Tim, you come across some egg you've never seen before. You don't know what kind of thing laid it. You can eat it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
I will.
But the turkey eggs, apparently, some people say they're really good. They're very creamy. But the reason why is they do not lay eggs as often, and they take up a lot more space because they're bigger than a chicken. So basically, it's like a turkey egg is going to cost a lot more than a chicken egg. So
we've also bred turkeys into a monstrosity.
Yeah,
like the average turkey just can't like walk around.
I've seen some turkeys walking around.
Well, those are
deep fakes.
Yeah, exactly.
They did walk kind of like a man.
Doing flips on a trampoline.
But that's why we don't eat turkey eggs. Have you ever had any eggs other than a chicken egg?
I don't think so. I'll say this, Tom. Mm-hmm. Can we all agree that eggs are gross?
They are, but they're delicious. I've eaten a lot of Blue Jay eggs that I've found.
I like like a robin's egg.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently you can just cook those. I mean, you wouldn't want to if they were fertilized. But.
Yeah. The thing that grosses me out about eggs, Tom,
all right,
is sometimes you crack one open and there's a little bit of blood in it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, what are we doing here?
I don't think I've really had that happen. Maybe once or twice.
Yeah. That's enough to make me skeptical of the whole endeavor.
Yeah, but you're a vegetarian, Tim. I mean, if I cut open a steak and I was like, oh, blood.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess that's...
Yeah.
Maybe I should listen to Joaquin Phoenix and stop eating eggs and dairy also. What about these people that think eggs are dairy? Those idiots.
It kind of makes sense.
They're in the dairy section.
Yeah.
It's got to be refrigerated.
And I think the milkman used to deliver eggs.
I think that you're thinking of the Eggman.
No.
John Lennon.
No, I think it was like the milkman would deliver eggs sometimes.
Yeah, it all comes from the farm.
It all comes from a dairy farm, which is why some people think it's dairy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't come from a cow. They do live births.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've never really had any other types of eggs except for chicken eggs. They are kind of a gross thing. But do you like eggs? Do you like eating them?
No, I only like them when they are
candy.
This was the same thing
Cadbury eggs.
that when I ate meat, the prospect of eating meat on its own was gross. I like it as a
sandwich,
a filler, like a protein source in a sandwich, right? And like that's how eggs are. Like I love an egg sandwich.
Okay.
But like if I used to order egg sandwiches like when I was like 13. a bacon, egg, and cheese, and I'd just take the egg out.
What?
And then I'd eat it.
Why'd you do that?
Because I was dumb.
You could have just ordered a cheese and bacon.
Yeah, but I think but like there was something about like the alchemy of like the like oil that they cook the egg in or whatever. You know, like
so you like that. You should have just said, like, can you
because I don't
just
think
put
they would have
some
been
oil
able
in
to
it?
like melt the cheese the right way without the egg there as a heat source. I don't know.
So you would go in there and you'd say, this is what I want you to do. Make me a bacon, egg, and cheese. When it's all done, take the egg, throw it in the garbage.
No, I would do it myself because I would be afraid that they'd charge me extra for that.
Did you do it in front of them so they could see that you were just
I didn't throw it I didn't throw it in the garbage. I threw it on the floor of the delicatessen.
Throwing away food that somebody worked hard to make for you.
Chicken worked hard for that.
And a chicken and a man. One of the most beautiful partnerships in the world of nature. Chicken and man coming together to make an egg sandwich.
And also eggs are good in like they help make things stick to deep fried foods.
Yes, yeah, it's like nature's glue, kind of.
Yeah, but you can do that. There's you can use like flaxseed or something to do it.
Oh, come on.
You can.
Well, you could. I could use glue.
If you're a big Bob's Red Mill household like we are,
okay.
they got a lot of egg replacement
do they?
stuff. Yeah.
All right. How's flaxseed going to help things stick?
You mix it up. It's ground. You grind
Okay.
it up. You mix it up with some water, and it becomes like goopy. Like
Oh, really?
Also, the other thing is you crack an egg.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in there before you cook it is the grossest thing. It's like this viscous, clear fluid that sometimes has a little speck of blood in it.
Egg white.
And then
Yolk.
Then a yolk, which is just some like this little ball of like yellow pus in the middle of it.
It's not pus.
It might as well be. You don't know what it is.
I do know what it is. It's yolk. It's a good source of protein.
Yeah, it's gross, but we'll eat it.
Another interesting thing that I found out in my research about eggs, and this I did, thankfully, the notes weren't deleted somehow. Egg yolk and egg white, same amount of protein.
Yeah, different amount of cholesterol, though.
Yeah, and that's why people prefer egg whites, although not if you're James Corden's wife, apparently.
Yeah, well, she had an allergy, Tom.
Yeah, what was that about?
It was a lie.
Was she allergic to egg whites?
But she'll eat a yolk?
Yeah, because then it's like, well, now you're just a different type of asshole. If you're allergic to egg whites, don't order an egg yolk omelet. Just order something else.
Yeah.
Look, I'm all for, I realize
you're all for yelling at waiters. We know. Yeah, people in the service industry don't deserve to be treated like human beings. We know, Tom.
I'm all for, or not all for. I understand that I'm privileged. I don't have any like big food allergies or whatever. But I'm a big believer in like, you got a food allergy, don't order something with that food in it at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Play it safe. I know that this happened like, I don't know if this happens as often, but like, before everybody got into like gluten-free stuff, I would hear stories about like people being like, is there gluten in that? And like the waiter or waitress being like, is there normally gluten in like, a ham sandwich or whatever? And they'd be like, oh, I don't know. And it's like, well, I don't know either. A lot of things don't have gluten at all.
Yeah. Kenny Shopson, the late Kenny Shopson, the proprietor of Shopson's diner
in New York,
in Manhattan, always used to say like, when people would be like, "Oh, don't put this ingredient in this dish. I'm allergic to it." He would always be like, "Well, that's the way it comes. If you have an allergy, go take your meals at a hospital."
Yeah, that's a pretty good.
Yeah, it's also kind of a jerk thing.
I don't think you necessarily need to take your meals at a hospital, but I think, well, some things, if it's like a topping, all right, don't be a dick. You can not put that topping in. But yeah, sometimes it's like, can you make me French onion soup with no onions in it? It's like, no, we already made the soup.
Yeah.
We're not going to make it fresh.
Yeah. And how do you even make it with no onions?
Yeah, that's just water. That's just water soup. Hey, make it with onions, but then take the onions out at the end.
like the French onion soup, but I don't like French people. Can you make it British?
I had some of the best French onion soup in France.
Well,
it was just called onion soup
there.
Yeah.
I hope you didn't make an ass of yourself.
I know. Honestly, though, I think that ingrained itself.
Like, can I have an American hamburger? You can just call it.
Well, it ingrained itself so much in me. I think last week. I was at the supermarket. I was at the deli counter, and I said, "Can I have a half a pound of cheese?" And they're like, "What kind of cheese?" I was like, "Oh, American cheese." I'm sorry, I forgot to order it that way. But you can. So that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's the same thing there. Maybe there I didn't even have to say onion. I could have just said soup.
Yeah, that's all they have over there.
I said
soup and baguettes.
The French word for onion is like ongdong. Onion.
That's
onion. So it's like, can I have some onion soup?
Stop doing
onion soup. All right, Tim, back to eggs.
Back to eggs. So many different types of eggs.
Yeah. What should we talk about first? Some more egg facts, or would you like Tom's top 4 ways to eat eggs?
I'm interested in hearing Tom's top 4 ways to eat eggs.
All right, so we should leave that for the end. Keep that as the little tease.
No, I just don't want any more of your egg facts that, like, you could eat any bird egg. We know. And you said it 5 times already.
I just assumed, like, some eggs out there will make you sick. You can't eat them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Some
people
do you
have
want
an egg allergy.
You can eat pigeon eggs then.
Yeah.
How come the city isn't harvesting pigeon eggs?
Can I tell you something?
Get rid of hunger.
I had my son at the playground today.
Uh-huh.
We had some quiche.
Okay. Yeah, that's egg. Yeah.
And he was eating it.
Uh-huh.
And he dropped a piece on the ground.
Yeah.
All these pigeons came over and started eating the quiche.
Sick pigeons.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Don't they know what they're eating?
Eggs.
I mean, we drink other mammals' milk like sickos.
I drink other humans' blood.
You ever think about, God, milk's another one that's just so gross when you think about it.
Tom, it's all gross.
If we discovered like an alien planet and they were like, oh, this is one of our favorite drinks, like this is how we get it, we would hop back in the spaceship and get the hell out of there. We'd be like, nope, we found extraterrestrial life and they're sick. They want to eat people? No, it was so much worse than that. We can never go back.
True.
We're starting an intergalactic war against them for this. All right. Tom's top 4 ways he likes to eat eggs. Should I start at number 4?
Yeah. It should be a countdown.
All right. Number 4, hard-boiled.
Hard-boiled. Some people don't like a hard-boiled egg.
Yeah, I love a hard-boiled egg. Little salt. You got a little salt on there. Maybe a little hot sauce.
I have a question, but I don't want to spoil the rest of the list.
Okay.
Make a note. I can't write myself a note. Make a note for me to ask you the question after you've done all 4.
After the list. Okay. Hold on. Let me find a piece of paper.
Dear future Tim, I'll dictate it.
To future Tim, ask Tom the question. You'll remember the question, though?
I'll remember the question.
Okay.
Yeah, hard-boiled. You know what? I like to eat a hard-boiled egg. Throw out
with the shell.
Throw out the
yolk.
The yolk.
I like to take the yolk and kick it as far as I can, like a hacky sack.
No, then it explodes on your shoe. It doesn't go anywhere.
I like the yolk in a hard-boiled egg. I might even say it's my favorite part. No, I like the whole thing because I don't like to eat just the yolk. I like some white with the yolk.
Yeah.
Hard-boiled eggs, I feel like they kind of are the grossest way to eat an egg. But
no, I don't think so.
But I was going to say they're also not. They look like the most processed way to eat an egg. They look like eggs that came from like a machine.
Yeah, that's true. How do you make a hard-boiled egg, Tom? How do you do it?
Oh, I thought this was like a joke.
No, how do you do it?
There's going to be a punchline. I have a contraption that does it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is this contraption?
It is. I've had it for a long time, too.
Oh, I know this. We were roommates when you got it.
Yeah. It's the same one from when we were roommates. It looks like a little UFO, like a little flying saucer. And you can put, I think, 5 eggs in a tray. and it's got this clear plastic lid. It comes with like a little measuring cup, and you just pour like, it's not that much water at all inside it. And then you put the white thing or the clear thing on top of it, lock it in, press the button. It heats up the water into like very, very hot steam. And then once it's done, once the water's evaporated, the eggs are done. It emits this ear-piercing screech.
I don't remember that.
Until you turn it off. And then, you have like perfect hard-boiled eggs every time.
How long does it take?
Just a few minutes.
Yeah.
It's very quick. Certainly much quicker than like boiling water.
Yeah,
but it takes all the guesswork out of like knowing when they're beyond just boiling the water, waiting for that, knowing how long you have to put the eggs in. None of that.
And then throwing them into the ice bath. Did you ever do that?
Yeah, because then you can eat them quicker that way. I think it makes it easier to peel the shells that way too. Old eggs. You use old eggs.
Older eggs, yeah.
That makes them easier to peel as well.
See, the thing is, Tom, the way that
ideally you get a nice 5-10-year-old egg, it's going to be very easy to peel.
I like a 1,000-year-old egg, Tom.
Well, we were talking about that. That's a Chinese delicacy.
Yeah.
And it sounds very gross.
Yeah.
They're not actually 1,000 years old, but sometimes they can be more than 1 year old.
Mm. Like me, I'm more than 1 year old.
Yep.
I was looking at something else. I knew that you were finished with your sentence, so I was like, I gotta say something. Yeah.
Think of something smart to say.
You know what makes them easiest to peel, Tom?
What?
If you start boiling them
if
in
you
hot
start
water.
Peeling
if
them.
you
instead of
bring
putting
water to a boil
Yeah.
instead of bringing them up to a boil in the water.
like
That's according to SeriousEats.com.
Okay, but that
Kenji Lopez
still remains the best way to boil a frog, a live frog.
Yeah, otherwise it'll jump right out.
Yeah, but it'll just stay there. Apparently that's not true.
Yeah.
But it's like you hear like, that's not true, and it's like, oh, what did you try doing, you sicko?
It's a metaphor. Yeah, exactly.
Like it's not a real thing. We all know what it means, and that's all that. None of us are out there trying to boil a live frog quickly or slowly. Let frogs be frogs. Just leave them alone.
That's what I always say to freaking Gonzo when he's antagonizing, or to Miss Piggy. Let frogs be.
Oh, because of Kermit the Frog, I see.
I guess nobody really antagonizes Kermit.
Miss Piggy does.
Yeah, but also he likes it.
He's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? I was gonna say like newish thing, but I think it's been around for a long time. Of the supermarket selling peeled boiled eggs. Boiled eggs that have already been peeled.
I don't like it. I used
to get like a mushy pack.
Yeah, I used to get from 7-Eleven hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah.
But like,
they were already in the shell though.
They had the shells. Yeah,
I would do that sometimes too. Yeah, that's actually kind of nice. 7-Eleven, they would sell like 2 hard-boiled eggs in a little box with some salt and pepper.
Yeah,
and it was like, I don't know, $1 or $2.
I mean, with inflation.
Yeah.
Joe Biden's America. Jesus
it's $28 now. But yeah, you could, it was like a nice, quick protein.
Yeah.
And probably the healthiest thing you could buy at a 7-Eleven.
Hard-boiled eggs are nature's little...
Eggs.
No, it's like, it's the perfect portable food.
I mean, they break very easily. It's not the perfect.
Yeah, but
you're thinking of bananas.
Those bruise very easily, Tom.
Yeah, but you can still eat a bruised banana. You can't eat a broken egg.
You can eat a broken if the shell breaks. In your bag, it's fine. You can still eat.
Well, if it's hard boiled.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't have to do anything.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You don't have to do anything to the banana. A hard-boiled egg doesn't exist in nature unless some egg dropped it into like a geyser or something.
Yeah, that's how I get my hard-boiled. You didn't let me say my preferred preparation.
Oh, okay. It's holding a chicken over a geyser.
Yeah.
And then you can be sure this hard-boiled egg's 100% natural. Nature itself, the earth cooked this egg.
That's right, Tom. You always take offense to what I say. You always pick apart. I think a hard-boiled egg is something. Look, it's not readily available in nature, but also the same way, like, yeah, you had to pick the banana off the tree.
Nah, somebody else does that for me.
Somebody else boils the egg for you. You lazy.
The man at 7-Eleven.
Yeah. All right, yeah,
but that's different than the bags of already peeled hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah, those stink.
That's just they look so gross, and it's like
only if you're gonna mash them up into something.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, maybe if you're like making some kind of salad.
Yeah, egg salad.
But yeah, otherwise, I don't know. Peeling a hard-boiled egg is not that hard. It's not like, oh, that's
people make
the
a
worst.
real big deal out of it. Like it's hey, that's a first world problem, Jack.
Well, I think they're boiling them wrong. Like I said, you gotta use old eggs, put them in an ice bath. It'll peel like a dream. You'll be able to peel it in one big long.
Some
strip.
people put a little vinegar in the water. I think that's unnecessary.
Does that help with the? You're thinking of Easter eggs.
No, Tom,
when somebody's painting Easter eggs.
Don't tell me what I'm thinking of.
They have to.
You
use
have no
vinegar.
idea what I'm thinking of.
Apparently, you don't have to do that anymore.
What's number 3? What? You don't have to.
You don't have to like use vinegar when you're making eggs. When you're making hard-boiled or Christmas eggs, Easter eggs anymore.
Jesus Christ, Tom! I really think you should check for the carbon monoxide leak.
But apparently, I don't know why you used to have to do that.
I don't remember. Like that's what you mixed the dye into, right?
And now they have dyes. Science has finally progressed to making egg dyes.
This is what the scientists are working on. POS has them freaking on payroll instead of using the money from Movember to do something worthwhile.
Good pull for the name of a company that makes.
POS, PAAS, man.
Yeah, they really run the game there, huh?
Yeah. They got some good dyes these days.
Yeah, well, they got rid of the vinegar stuff because I think that was like I remember always wanting to like color the eggs real early, and always being dissuaded like I'll do it later or another day. And I think it was because of the vinegar smell.
Yeah,
it's gross.
It's still not fun. Like I did it with my I colored Easter eggs with my niece and nephew last year. And it sucks. It's still like messy and like you don't really care that they're coloring the eggs and like
they always care.
They did, but then they have like these grand ideas of like mixing the colors. It's like, no, this is gonna turn out brown. It's gonna be brown. It's brown. We could have just bought brown eggs.
You idiot!
Yeah.
God, I hate doing this with you.
No,
you're so
once
stupid.
Again, been pulled out of Easter Sunday screaming at children.
But all the eggs are brown.
They put me in an ice bath.
We could have just bought brown eggs.
This year I'm showing up to Easter with brown eggs and be like, hey,
I already
saved
dyed
you
all
a
these.
step. Dripping with vitriol.
All right, number 3 top ways I like eggs. And Ginger did a drum roll.
Drum roll, please.
I don't have them in order. I'm figuring it out actually,
all right.
like kind of as we go here.
What were you doing for 12 hours in preparation for this?
All right, I'm gonna say this. Over hard fried eggs.
Over hard.
Fried eggs over hard.
Tom, explain to me the difference between over easy, over medium, and over hard.
Oh, well, and don't forget sunny side up.
What? Okay.
So sunny side up is a fried egg that you don't flip.
Right.
So the sunny side stays up. Over easy, over medium, and over hard are basically just how long you cook it.
It's like rare, medium, and well done, essentially.
And over hard, what I like when I make a fried egg is I like to immediately break the yolk and kind of like mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
Not scramble it, but just kind of mix it in. I don't really like a runny yolk.
I kind of like it nowadays on an egg sandwich.
Yeah, sometimes I'll
an
eat
over
it.
medium where there's just a little bit of
But I think ultimately, like, I won't be mad at an over medium, but I would prefer an over hard. And if I'm making it for myself, I'm going to do it over hard.
I overcook everything I make for myself, and I love it.
That's how you make sure all the nutrients get locked in.
Yeah, we're the food that we're eating. We're really trying to get nutrients out of.
I am. I can only speak for myself, Tim.
Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, maybe I'll save it for Patreon.
Wow, what a tease!
I got a smoothie update.
Well, don't give that away for free, Tim. My number 2 top way to eat eggs: omelets.
Tom?
Yeah.
Depends on what's in the omelet.
Well, of course. I feel like that goes without
saying. I like
saying.
an egg yolk omelet myself.
And God help the restaurant if they get it wrong. Man, that whole James Corden thing's... I just love that he apologized and then did an interview with the New York Times where they were like, how are you doing? And he's like, what is that supposed to mean? And they're like, you had this whole kerfuffle. And he's like, that's beneath you. That's beneath the New York Times. Like, oh, what a dick.
I think talking to James Corden at all is beneath the New York Times, to be honest.
And then he had to come on.
We hate James Corden. Go back to Britain, you Brit.
Yeah, I think he is. I get mad actually whenever we're in England. People, not always, but like I've been asked multiple times, like why did you guys make James Corden famous over there? And it's like you told us he was famous already.
Yeah, you guys
we all
tricked
believed us.
Yeah,
we all believed you.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, I've literally never met somebody who claims to be a fan of his. I've never watched I've never watched his whole show. I don't think. Any clip I've watched, I found him annoying at best.
Yeah, I wish they would just keep the format. Like, it's essentially the Graham Norton show, right? Like, it's a panel where, like, the celebrity guests all interact with each other.
Yeah, which used to be what a lot more talk shows were like here. And
Tom, you're always like, hey, bring back Johnny. Right?
Hey, what happened to Johnny? Bring him back.
Yeah, why'd they kick him off? They should call him up, get him down. Jimmy Fallon's not doing great.
Yeah, the
get
ratings are down. Get Johnny back. Do you remember Graham Norton had a show on like Comedy Central for like a minute?
Yeah.
What was it called?
The Graham Norton Show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, clever name. But it didn't do well over here, and which is probably best for him. He went back to England and did his show there.
Go back to England.
No, not in that way. It's like I think they let him do what he does well.
Yeah.
I love the Graham Norton show. I'm talking about the old Comedy Central show. But omelets, Tim. You know what I like omelet-wise lately? A goat cheese in there.
Ooh, yeah.
I like goat cheese, but if I'm at like a make your own omelet bar type thing, maybe I'll probably do mushroom, onion, and cheddar cheese.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good combo.
I'm not a mushroom man. I'm trying to be. You're talking about
you're trying to be, or you're you're trying to be, or you're not trying to be.
I am trying to be.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much the only foods I don't like, or outside of like. That I can eat as a vegetarian. Well, eggs, but also mushrooms and olives. So I'm trying to train myself.
I don't like olives.
I used to hate pickles, and pickles are my favorite food, Tom. Yeah. So I think I could do it with mushrooms. I think I could do it with olives. And then
move on to olives.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a vegetarian, but mushrooms are one of my favorite foods, so I'll happily. Psychedelic mushrooms. I like getting just like out of my mind after I ate an omelet. I've never been a big meat in an omelet guy.
Yeah.
I think it's tricky. I've had like chicken in an omelet, and it's like, the texture, like the chicken's so much firmer than the omelet. It kind of just like breaks through it.
The mother and child reunion is what they call that.
Oh, God. I didn't even think about that. That's sick. Bacon in an omelet. I think it only works if you chop up the bacon before you put it in there.
Of course.
Who
wouldn't?
But I've had it where it's just strips of bacon in
what
there.
idiot diner were you at?
The one very close to me, actually. That's how they do it, and I don't like
stinks.
it. Because then you gotta kind of chop it up yourself. Sausage, I guess like chorizo in an omelet.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, you can't just use like.
I make a big
links.
scramble sometimes, Tom, and I use the Trader Joe's soy rizo.
Oh, okay.
Just get that in there.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, chorizo's got a nice flavor to it.
Sure does.
Well, Tim, you ruined the surprise, but my number one way to eat eggs, hard scrambled.
Hard scrambled. I don't really
You might notice I like my eggs hard. Hard boiled, hard scrambled.
Like you like your hunks.
I like my
hard
hunks
bodies.
Hard too. Hard scrambled eggs. Now, I didn't know that there was such a thing as like, I knew, hard boiled. I knew over easy, over hard. But there's soft scrambled and hard scrambled.
Right.
Soft scrambled is basically wet eggs,
Yeah.
which look, if it's done right, good. Those can be delicious, but I think it's tricky,
That's what they always like. Yeah, ever watch these cooking shows? And it's like,
well, it's like Gordon Ramsay's big thing is can you scramble eggs correctly?
Yeah, and that's always a soft scramble because those always come out looking. A hard scramble, Tom. I like an egg scramble, but I don't like scrambled eggs.
Oh, what's the difference?
I like an egg scramble where you're like putting in so many things that it like outnumbers the eggs.
that by the end there's no eggs in there.
Yeah, that like the eggs are kind of just the glue.
Well, what kind of stuff you put in there?
Soy rizo,
Okay.
some peppers, some onions. My favorite
peppers
food,
and
mushrooms.
onions are good.
No, just any kind of veggies. You put some anything you would put in an omelet. You it's just an easier way to do an omelet.
Yeah, because omelets can be like tricky to
Another
get right.
freaking Gordon Ramsay thing. It's just like, ooh, and like they're so like when it's just like an omelet with nothing in it. It's just like what are we even doing here?
Yeah, just make scrambled eggs,
Just
you
make
idiot.
scrambled eggs.
Yeah, what is this? A trick omelet?
Also, when I make a scramble, I'm not doing like whisking water into whisking milk into the eggs and stuff. Like I don't like to make them fluffy. In that way.
I kind of like them fluffy like that, but I don't do it. I don't do that myself when I'm making them. When I'm making them, I just scramble them up.
You whisk them up, throw them in, cook them way too long,
and get them nice and hard, nice and firm.
Yeah,
that's why I like my scrambled eggs.
Well. All right.
Were there any surprises in that top 4 for you?
No, I'm struggling to figure out other.
Well, what was the thing you wanted to say? I have a note here. I don't remember either of us writing it down, but it said, "Ask Tim."
Around hard-boiled eggs, Tom.
All right.
I was worried that this would appear further down on your list. How do you feel about deviled eggs?
Ooh. I like deviled eggs.
Do you consider that hard-boiled? Because they're just essentially hard-boiled, and then you take the yolks out and mix them up with like mustard and stuff and put them back in?
Yeah, I consider that essentially a hard-boiled egg.
Okay.
But
That's
I do
I was going to ask if you considered it a hard-boiled egg, and I didn't want you to be like, no, deviled eggs were my number one, you idiot, and then storm out of here.
Yeah. You know what, Tim? Full transparency, I forgot about deviled eggs.
Yeah, I do.
But deviled eggs are good, and I feel like that's another thing that growing up, it was like a weird like 80s like TV trope, like deviled egg.
Yeah.
At like a party. And it was seen as like kind of a gross thing.
They're delicious.
Anytime I've been at a party and they have deviled eggs, I'm like, oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I love some deviled eggs.
Got kicked out of a wedding for eating too many deviled eggs and then barfing on the bride's gown.
And it sounds a little dangerous.
Yeah.
Devil. Can I have the devil's eggs? I don't want God's eggs. I want devil's eggs. What do you think a heavened egg is? That would be like a light and fluffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like an egg, just a egg white as fluffy as possible.
You know how they like sometimes whisk egg whites up into like, is that a meringue?
Yeah.
I think a meringue type of thing, which actually would be very good as well. Because you put sugar in that, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, meringues are nice too.
Better than deviled eggs, I'd say.
All right, Tim. I got a few more egg facts I'd like to talk with you about.
Hey, Tom, with all these facts, you're coming off as a real egghead.
I thought you were going to say something like you're coming off as an extraordinary genius. But egghead, that's probably better. Now, Tim,
yes, Tom.
Here's one. So we've been in England together, and in England they don't refrigerate their eggs,
right?
And over here we do refrigerate our eggs, and that comes up in conversation when you're over there. You're liable to get glassed, because and then called an idiot. Like, what are you doing putting eggs in the fridge? Apparently, we got different eggs. You know about this?
You hear about this?
This comes from communitychickens.com, my homepage. Salmonella can be found on the exterior of an eggshell because eggs are laid through the same passageway as feces extraction.
Cool.
The cloaca, you know?
Uh-huh.
So, the USDA requires all American eggs to be cleaned and sometimes sanitized at the processing plant to mitigate salmonella's danger. This washing step removes the natural lining that protects an egg from an infection called a bloom. To keep our eggs chilled to prevent bacterial infection, we must refrigerate our eggs.
Right. Okay.
So in England,
they just got shit eggs.
They just got shit all over the eggs. No, I think...
From what I understand, they got shit all over everything over there.
Tim, I know we're probably not going back there for a while. We just came back, but they got a long memory.
And about that queen that
died. First off, I had never even heard of her before then. No, I think it's just, they wipe the shit off the eggs in England, I'm sure, I assume. I think it's probably different cleaning techniques.
Where do you come down on pasteurized milk? Or unpasteurized milk? Would you take a sip? Straight from the cow's teat?
You mean devil's milk? I don't understand enough of it to know, but I know that it's like you can get unpasteurized milk on like the dark web or whatever, and that's
you can get it at the farmer's market.
That's the dark web.
That's what you've been talking about. That's where you get all your
Did you see
psychedelic mushrooms?
Me and you were at the farmers. Not at the farmers market. We were at the park yesterday. When we were leaving the park, they have like a bunch of stands selling stuff. One was just selling marijuana.
Really?
Yeah, just selling pre-rolls, and then just she's like walk by and just like weed.
See, in my day,
we sell weed.
Smoke.
Yo, you smoke? But no, this was just like a very nice little stand.
Yeah. I go to that farmer. Hey, I bring my child to that farmer's market.
Yeah.
They're selling weed at it.
Yeah. Well, maybe
pretty cool. I'm gonna make my kid
chill out.
Cool. Yeah, he's really high strung.
He kept pointing at me the other day.
I know, and you loved it.
He kept pointing at me and laughing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, is that the guy, Dad?
Is
that the guy?
Is that him?
That's the
guy." How do we? Unpasteurized.
I know things about you, Uncle Tommy.
What about you? Where do you come down on pasteurized versus unpasteurized?
I've never had unpasteurized milk.
Okay,
but they sell it at the farmer's market. Was it going to make me sick?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I apologize for all the sirens. Tim has taken a bottle of unpasteurized milk out of his bag, and the police have been notified.
I'm going to glug it.
No, I mean, it supposedly tastes better, which makes sense. Because what are they doing? They're like heating
it up. Yeah,
heating up milk to kill bacteria in it.
It makes everybody sleepy when they drink
it. Wait, what?
It makes everybody sleepy.
The unpasteurized or the pasteurized?
It's warm milk now.
Oh, I see.
Never mind.
But they heat it up like to the point where it can kill bacteria, but not boil.
Yeah,
or not turn into cheese. I don't know. It's fine.
I don't understand how dairy
I don't really drink milk anyway.
Yeah,
so,
me neither.
I don't really care if it's pasteurized. I'm not gonna roll the dice. How good could it be? Cut to me being like, "This is the best thing ever." Hey, this unpasteurized milk's the best thing since sliced bread.
All right, wrap it up.
What else? Long shelf life. high demand. Guess how many eggs the average American eats? What?
Just your little headlines. Long shelf life, high demand.
Why don't they hatch?
Tom, really?
Why? Did you know this? No, but as a kid, I remember it being explained like, well, they're not fertilized. And I was like fertilizer. You had to put fertilizer on them. That's interesting. But then I grew up and I realized, no, a chicken has to come on the egg. And then that is what fertilizes them. Tim, guess how many eggs the average American eats a year?
A year. And this includes, like, eggs are in so many, like, packaged foods.
They take all the eggs that are, consumed in America and divide it by all the Americans, the number of Americans.
60 million? What are we at, 370 at this point?
Are we? I thought it was still like 330.
I don't know. Siri, how many Americans are there?
Why do you think that's going to work?
What?
It didn't work.
Yeah, but why wouldn't it?
Hey, Siri, how many Americans are there? Gizian say, hey. It's thinking. Here's what I found. I didn't ask for you to. I could find something.
Alexa would just tell me.
Yeah. Are you trying to make Siri jealous?
Yeah. I'm gonna say 45 eggs.
Tim, the average American eats 250 eggs a year.
Yeah, because they put eggs in everything. Eggs are like corn here.
Yeah.
This country is just built on freaking corn and eggs.
Yeah.
We don't need any of it.
Eggs are fine.
We need to bind everything.
I don't think they put eggs in everything. You're thinking of cake.
No. Like in a lot of processed, like it is like a binder. I listened to a podcast. Somebody who had an egg allergy was like, you wouldn't think it, but here are all the foods that I can't eat.
Okay, yeah. But that's like a little bit of eggs.
Yeah, but like in large, like
what do you just listen to allergy podcasts?
Yeah, what? I don't know what I would.
Here's what I'm allergic to, and here's where it can be found.
Why would you assume it was an allergy podcast and not just something that came up in conversation?
In conversation, you say it was a podcast.
Yeah, we've been talking about fucking eggs.
Tim, you got look. If you're listening to a podcast and they're not staying on topic, move along.
Oh, God.
If you like the show, speaking of which, go to tcgt.com to find out more. You don't have to. You can if you want. We got links to our social media, our Reddit, our Discord.
The Discord's hopping. The Reddit's hopping. Get in there. The Reddit's not as hopping, but like, hey, tell each other, diagnose each other. Hop in there in the subreddit. We encourage diagnosing the other.
On our subreddit,
members.
everybody's a doctor.
Yeah.
You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Reynolds.
Follow me at Your Pal Tim.
And you can find our Patreon at patreon.com/complete guide. You want to hear about Tim's new shake routine? Smoothie routine.
I just put protein powder in it now.
You get...
That's it. No, you don't have to hear any more about it. They can hear about
Tim,
the other.
you're taking money right out of my mouth. You can get new episodes every week. This week we're doing Merrily, Life is But a Stream, I think. Uh-huh. And you get all the back episodes too. Starting at just $5 a month. Patreon.com/complete guide. Tim, the last thing I want to say, the last interesting thing that I want to say about eggs. I'm looking, actually, because now I'm thinking, there might be some more interesting things.
You reminded me about Instagram, so now I'm looking at Instagram.
Well, that's, Tim, you're really blaming the victim here. Cage-free does not necessarily mean that those
this is why I didn't want to
born
talk
in cages.
Yeah, that's what I don't want to talk about, all that stuff. Like, it's dark. The whole industry is dark.
But let me also say this. Natural... Anyone can say natural, which also makes sense. It's like, artificial eggs. Yeah, of course they're natural. Free range means that they are free to roam outdoors if they'd like to, but there's no regulation specifying how long is necessary. So there's no way of knowing how long they actually. And apparently, a lot of times it's like, we got a little door. They can go outside to like a 5-foot area if they want. They don't want to. It's all worth the effort. Certified organic. Hens have some access to the outdoors and are fed an organic vegetarian diet that excludes any pesticides, animal byproducts, or genetically modified foods. But also I found that was on lifehack.org, but I found another site, and I see this, that eggs that say like hormone free, all eggs are hormone free. That's been like an FDA thing since the 50s.
Yeah, but they gotta say it. It's like when they put gluten free on a
thing
apple.
that never has gluten.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying that those are some of the buzzwords out there.
Just buy the cheapest eggs. They're all the same. They're all terrible.
They are all. I mean, it sounds like if you get some certified organic, they might be a little bit better.
Ask Joaquin Phoenix about how they get eggs.
Why does he do it?
No, he hates it.
Oh.
You remember his Oscar speech about
vaguely.
creamer and eggs? And
yeah, but then guess what? The best thing ever happened later that night. No, it's the next year.
So it's a different year. Yeah.
But, well, it made me forget about all the past Oscars, though. All right. Well, Tim, if it's okay with you, I'm going to go make an egg salad now.
You know what? I'm going to be an egg salad guy you'll see. I'm going to show up here smacking my lips, eating egg salad all the time.
Yeah, that'll make you really cool. Hey, the egg salad guy's here.
Yeah.
I'm
not trying to be cool,
his
Tom.
breath always
I'm
stinks.
just trying to get a proper amount of protein. But I am putting the protein powder in my smoothies now.
Oh, and don't eat like boxed eggs.
Oh, what?
Like boxed eggs, those are apparently like bad. Those are all the like grade B eggs.
What are you talking about?
Like the containers of eggs. Yeah.
In cartons?
Yeah.
Where are you supposed to get them?
At the store. They sell them at the store.
Yeah, no. If you're not supposed to buy eggs that come in egg cartons?
No. I'm saying like the liquid eggs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are gross apparently.
Oh, okay.
Grade B eggs. Grade A for me. Grade triple A.
Yeah. We're AAA all the way. That's the motto of this podcast.
All right. We'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.